U.S. President Donald Trump has unveiled his Board of Peace. President Trump has hailed it as a platform to solve global conflicts. Critics claim it is Trump's latest wrecking ball to the established world order. In Europe, alarm bells are ringing. European leaders have serious doubts about the scope of the board, but they are ready to work with the U.S. and the newly founded body in Gaza.
We have serious doubts about a number of elements in the Charter of the Board of Peace related to its scope, its governance, and its compatibility with the United Nations Charter.
Meanwhile, Moscow is watching closely. It has not accepted President Trump's invitation to the board, not yet. Russian President Vladimir Putin has pushed a key demand: use frozen Russian assets to pay for permanent membership. A permanent membership of the board costs $1 billion.
Even before we decide on the issue of participation in the composition and work of Board of Peace, taking into account Russia's special relationship with the Palestinian people, we could, I think, send $1 billion from Russian assets frozen under the previous U.S. administration to Board of Peace.
It must be remembered that Europe has been pushing to use these funds as leverage against Russia, but President Trump seems to be okay with it as long as Putin was using his own money.
I don't know about that. I mean, I've heard that. Who said that? Yeah, it's very interesting. But he said he's going to use his money. If he's using his money, I think that's fine. Now, if you're talking about where he said this morning, he's going to join the Board of Peace and he's going to make a contribution of $1 billion. Yeah, by using his money. I mean, if he's using his money, that's great.
Originally meant to oversee Gaza's rebuilding, the board's charter now does not seem to limit its role. It appears to want to rival the United Nations, and its logo bears striking resemblance to the UN. Both include a globe with olive branches on each side. However, the UN logo shows a map of the whole world. On the other hand, North America takes center stage in the board's logo. And in true President Trump style, the logo is all in gold. Joining us live from Tel Aviv is Dr. Mir Javedan-Far, lecturer of Iranian politics at Reichman University in Israel, West Asia analyst, and co-author of The Nuclear Sphinx of Tehran. Thank you so much for joining us on WION. So there is a lot of talk about whether or not President Trump's Board of Peace is going to replace the United Nations, or at least what's left of it. What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I'm not sure how much teeth such an organization have. The history is littered with thousands of such organizations being set up by one politician or another, one leader of a superpower or another, but they soon dissipated or evaporated or faded into oblivion. I'm not sure that this Board of Peace is really going to function, because I'm not sure about its charter. Does it even have a charter? How much of a mandate for action does it have? How much is it going to affect the situation in Gaza? Its first test will be whether Hamas will be disarmed. Who is going to disarm Hamas? I'm not even sure Israel can disarm Hamas, never mind other countries. I don't see other countries in the world sending forces into Gaza to confront Hamas in order to disarm them. This is not going to happen. So on the one hand, some countries may be concerned that this is going to replace the UN. I'm very, very skeptical. Such an organization does not have this international backing of which the UN has. The UN has far more international backing, far more financial resources. It has a much longer history than this new organization. It has a very functioning bureaucracy that has been working for many years. It has peacekeepers around the world. To be frank, I really don't think this organization is going to be a threat to the UN.
And it's interesting you say that, Mir, because it doesn't seem like the Trump administration views it that way either. So, the criticism that's around this is from the outside. So we'll have to wait and see what this board has in store for Gaza and those involved in it. But more importantly, the United States is moving carriers into the Middle East, something everyone is talking about online. People wondering whether or not the United States wants to attack Iran. What are your thoughts on a possible U.S. military incursion into Iran, whether limited strikes or an all-out war?
It's really difficult to predict what President Trump will do. As we all know, and we have all learned since he has entered the White House, he's very unpredictable. We could see a wide-scale attack against Iran next week, or we could see suddenly wake up to a agreement between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States over a whole host of issues such as Iran's nuclear program and perhaps other things. It's very difficult to know whether all these military assets being moved into the Middle East are just to pressure Iran to accept a new deal, a new nuclear deal, something that is far more widespread and wide scale, far more comprehensive than what was signed in 2015, or perhaps a military attack, because President Trump promised the people of Iran that help is on its way, that he's going to assist them. And from what we have heard so far, the killings in Iran have been unprecedented in Iran's contemporary history. I've been teaching contemporary Iranian politics and history for 13 years. And if the number of 20,000, which some people think is even higher, is true, I cannot think of a foreign invader, never mind the local leader, who has killed 20,000 people in such a short space of time. This is unthinkable. It is horrific. And President Trump and people are waiting for him to attack the Iranian regime. Some people think it's wrong. Some people think it would be right. But for what we hear from Iran, people want Trump to punish the Islamic Republic. So President Trump is in a bind. On the one hand, if he gets a new nuclear deal that moves the nuclear threats from the table and the missile threat from the table, that would be a tremendous achievement for him diplomatically. But that would come at the cost of not living up to his promise to the people of Iran. On the other hand, if he does attack the Iranian regime and severely damages them, then that will make reaching a deal in the future more difficult, but it could create serious impediments and challenges to the leadership of the Islamic Republic, which is facing its gravest challenge since it has faced, I would say, in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfathomable to watch what's happening in Iran, at least what's coming out of Iran and what we can see with the internet blackout, the media blackout. Thank you so much, Mir Javedanfar. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Do come back again.
Thank you very much, and thank you for pronouncing my surname so masterfully. It's wonderful, for good reason. Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.